Hi, everybody. Welcome to Houston Sports Weekly Podcast here on the KPRC 2 Plus channel. Great to have you with us. Randy McIlvoy and Ari Alexander with you, episode 13. We are here on a Thursday night as we are taping this because just last several hours we've been at Minute Maid Park watching the Astros already go up 2-0 in this best-of-5 series with the Seattle Mariners in the ALDS. The series now shifting to T-Mobile Park in Seattle over the weekend. Astros just one win away from putting this thing to bed and moving on to the ALCS. Good start.
There was a chance that this series could have gone a lot worse than it has so far. You're down 7-3 in game one. I thought that they would split at home and then just their depth of their pitching would carry them on the road. And you got to be a little bit worried on the road when it comes to Seattle because they haven't done this in 21 years. Since Ichiro had his rookie season was the last time that the Seattle Mariners were in the postseason. That 116-win season, they lost to the Yankees in the ALCS. And so, Seattle is going to be really hyped for this. They already don't like the Astros, right? They're a division rival. Everyone doesn't like the Astros around the league. And so you're kind of tamping down that environment when you go down there 2-0. You beat them in such a way on Tuesday night that it's
rip their hearts out.
Spirit breaking. And then today, it was a lot closer game. Today was kind of I think a little more standard postseason game where both pitchers were pretty good and there's a couple key hits here and there. But you see how much fear Yordan Alvarez puts in the Mariners. Scott Service is like basing bad game plans around getting Yordan out.
I love the reactions, the cutaway shots TBS is taking. Tuesday night when he hit the walk-off, and then again today.
You had the Peyton Manning face?
Yeah, it's just like, what do you do? I mean, he's hard to pitch to. He can go either way with power. That pitch he hit to the Crawford boxes was a sinker. I think it was away, wasn't it?
Outside 98-mile-an-hour sinker that was out of the strike zone.
And he still did what he did with that baseball. I mean, and they intentionally walked him in the ninth inning. So I wonder now, what are we going to see the rest of the series when Yordan comes to the plate?
I think Yordan just breaks Scott Service's brain because every time that he's had to deal with him situationally, it's been the wrong move for him. Yesterday, they have a guy named Eric Swanson who has a sub-2 ERA in the bullpen's a righty. Good, really good pitcher. And he opted in to bring in Robbie Ray, who's a lefty, to try to get that lefty-lefty matchup. Well, Yordan has 1,000 OPS against lefties. Oops, and he hits a walk-off, right?
Well, Robbie Ray was getting this lit up by Mariner fans.
Well, because they knew it was the wrong move. And then today, Thursday.
Oh man.
But, it's 3-2. You still have a shot in this game. And Ryan Presley came out throwing 5 straight balls.
I know.
Instead,
maybe a little nervous.
Right.
Yeah.
Top 9. Yep. Jeremy Pena, by the way, Jeremy Pena's been phenomenal. Gets on first.
He's your guy.
He's my guy. And you intentionally walk Yordan. So now you put Jeremy Pena, who is 95th percentile sprint speed, one of the fastest guys in the league on second base. All Bregman has to do is single. And you saw him, he has a close play at the plate. Mitch Haniger's got a good arm. It was a short right single, but Pena slid in there because he's fast.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you on purpose put a very fast guy in scoring position and Alex Bregman's up, a guy who can stroke a short single, into right? It's just Yordan's
didn't work out well.
Just the threat of Yordan is breaking Scott Service.
Yeah, and I like it too because people during the course of this year, the year Yordan has had, and last year being in the World Series, but when it's the only game on tonight or during the day because the Yankee game got rained out. People are seeing just how great of a player he is, and every time I watch him, and I think back to how the Astros got him, and I'm going blank on the name of the reliever, Josh Fields. Dodgers just gave him up. I think he was a throw-in or something. Was he 17, 18 at the time?
Yeah, I was reading about
it.
I guess that his power hadn't developed, and so
they didn't know what they were getting.
Yeah, their read in the scouting, and this is all from reading articles from The Athletic that deep dived on this years ago. It was basically that we have this huge kid. And he's not hitting for power, and we don't know why. And that was kind of the read in the organization. And the Astros apparently always liked him. They were the runner-ups or third or whatever, signing him out of Cuba, but the Dodgers got him.
Right.
And so when the Dodgers needed an extra postseason arm, the Astros said, hey, we always liked this kid. I wonder if they'll throw it in. And so I think that there was some confusion on whether they're talking about Yadier Alvarez.
Yeah, whether there was a mix-up on the name.
Which is really funny because that happened in the NBA, too, with Marshawn Brooks and Dylan Brooks. So there's a Cuban reliever named Yadier Alvarez.
Yeah.
And I think that the Dodgers were going to agree because he was a big disappointment. And then the Astros came back and said, no, Yordan. We want Yordan. And I think the way that it reads, I don't remember full details, but something along the lines of the Dodgers didn't really want to trade Yordan, but they're so desperate to get an extra bullpen arm. They're like, all right, you know what? It's not Yadier, it's Yordan. He hasn't really been hitting for power. Fine. And then he turns into this.
So would that be outstanding if the Astros can keep winning and Dodgers win and he ends up facing the Dodgers in the World Series?
Yeah,
There's a guy that got away from the organization. And
that'll be a good. I want to get there because I want to hear it from Andrew Friedman. That would be great if he's on the field at some point if they do end up playing the World Series.
Yeah.
And it's like
we've
heard bits and pieces of the backstory, but what is the full backstory? I want him to have a chance to respond. Maybe there's a totally sound, logical reason that they traded him away, and then it just didn't work out.
Yep. Well, he is putting on a show so far in these first 2 games of the ALDS. With you a couple more minutes, and we'll do it again next week as well. But here they are, up 2-0. Dusty Baker and the guys chartering out. They'll work out Friday in Seattle, and then the 2-day games and 2 more day games. And you look not only on the road are the Astros, are they the best road team in baseball? If not, they're top 2 or something.
Up there. Yeah,
I think I'm pretty sure they're the best road team. And then if you break down as well on the road during day games, they've got one of the best records in all of baseball. So everything's kind of fallen into place. That said, Seattle's going to have the crowd. I just wouldn't be shocked if they try to protect home field. But you and I were talking after the game. I think this is where all this great pitching the Astros have. You go up 2-0. What else does Seattle really have that's going to really threaten the Astros? I don't think a lot. And this is where the death can just go and push teams out of the way.
Yeah, because you can lose Game 3. They're throwing George Kirby in Game 3, and then the Astros are throwing Lance McCullers Jr. And that's advantage Astros. George Kirby's a really good pitcher. He's going to be probably top 7 in Rookie of the Year. The AL Rookie of the Year race is so interesting. So Julio Rodriguez is going to win. Adley Rutschman probably gets second, or Steven Kwan. So there's your 1, 2, 3. And then it's a battle between Kirby and Jeremy Pena and Logan Gilbert. I think is still rookie. But there's 4, 5, 6, 3 or 4 guys that are in that. Bobby Witt. There's 3 or 4 guys that are in that. And so Kirby's part of that. He's had a really good year. But he's not as good as Lance McCullers, and he doesn't have the experience and all the things that McCullers
Everything
brings.
Lance has proven. You just hope Lance isn't, sometimes Lance
inefficient.
Gets that pitch count high up early, and you look in the 4th inning, and he's thrown 60 pitches already or something. We want the good Lance that has the nasty stuff, tries to work efficiently if he can through the Seattle lineup on Saturday. But, again, you got the bullpen that's ready. There's some guys that haven't even seen action. You were saying Ryan Stanek.
Yeah, I was checking on him. I was talking to
that's what happens in the postseason.
Right.
There's gaps.
Some league sources close to Ryan Stanek, and I asked, something wrong with him? Is he hurt? Is there an oblique or something going on? They're like, no, he's fine.
He was fine in the clubhouse earlier this week.
He's fine. Dusty just hasn't used him or needed to use him. I thought he could have brought him in the 8th if Montero walked another guy, but Montero got out of it. They like Montero as the 8th inning guy. So you still haven't used Stanek. You used Hunter Brown for 1 inning, right? And he's a starter. He's a guy that can go multiple innings. Luis Garcia still hasn't pitched. Jose Urquidy still hasn't pitched.
Neris came in for what?
Neris came in for an out.
1 out.
And you got it done.
You got plenty of arms.
Yeah, they have the best bullpen. Well, it depends. So I was reading about, and the Dodgers have a really good bullpen. They have the best bullpen in the American League.
Yeah.
They might have the best bullpen in baseball.
Yeah, go head to head with the Dodgers. It'll be fun. All right, so before we wrap it up, if this does go, say the Mariners will win on Saturday, we're looking ahead to Game 4 on Sunday afternoon. They haven't really talked much about who potentially could start, but when you look at the arms available for the Astros, you got Luis Garcia, right?
Yeah.
You got Jose Urquidy sitting ready.
Yeah.
I mean, Javier probably, I guess he'll stay in the bullpen, maybe.
I don't know. You might have
this round.
If Javier doesn't pitch Saturday. Why isn't Javier available?
Yeah, you know what? He could start.
Because that's Wednesday, Thursday,
It could be a
Friday.
tandem game almost, really.
Yeah, Hunter Brown could pitch in a tandem game.
Yeah.
You have so many arms. Yeah, Christian Javier would be on full rest, on 4 days rest. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He could still start Game 4 because Dusty only used him in Game 1. I like him in that multi-inning weapon role. And if you really need a 4th starter, then you can use Luis Garcia. Justin Verlander could come back. Dusty has sort of hinted that maybe that's something he could do.
Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of think they would save him one more day to Monday, but maybe not.
I agree. Or for, thinking that you're up 2-0, you just need to close it out,
right,
that you save him for game 1 of the CS.
Ideal world, this weekend, they get it done Saturday or Sunday, reset the rotation, and you're good to go starting Wednesday. People are asking, when's the ALCS start? It's already preset. The dates are preset. It'll be game 1 on Wednesday, game 2, I believe, Thursday, back-to-back, right?
Yep.
Travel day, and then wherever the opponent is, Cleveland or New York, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Mm-hmm. Off on that Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday would be a 6 and a 7 if needed at Minute Maid. So we'll see. But it all is looking good right now for the Astros as they head to Seattle. Game number 3 coming up on Saturday afternoon. I think that's 3 o'clock Central Time Saturday.
3:07, 1:07 Seattle time.
Yeah, and then Sunday for Game 4, it's just after noon Seattle time, so just after 2 o'clock here on Sunday. So that's it for now. We want to check in here on the newly named Houston Sports Weekly, right? We don't have the graphic yet built, but it'll come soon, I promise. Yeah, we had to think of a name to call this, and we had several choices. It's like we decided on Houston Sports Weekly,
Houston Sports Weekly, yeah.
Yeah, that way it covers just about everything. Yeah. So for Ari Alexander, I'm Randy McIlvoy. We will talk to you soon. Have a great weekend and a week ahead. We'll talk to you coming up on Astros and Texans Talk next week when they resume. Take care, everybody.